He's among a group of volunteers recruited by Fred Kajimu as counselors to what are called orphan households. Jailess Kijaweri does not know her age. She remembers vaguely that when she was coming of age in this former British colony, that George was king.
She says that she has lost 3 sons and 4 daughters. But she says originally she had lost other kids, but these ones who have died of this problem are 7. 4 daughters and 3 sons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what about their spouses?
They also died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Her despair, it seems, is exceeded only by a sense of resignation and physical weakness. The children, she says, will soon have to fend for themselves entirely. The oldest is 10.
Says that she has nothing to do except leave everything for Providence.
Next stop, and the same grim story is farther along. There are no adults left in this home. 14-year-old Lucy heads a household with 5 children. Their father died in 1991, their mother 2 years later. School principal Saka can offer little more than the bare essentials. Still, it's about the only direct adult supervision the children receive.
If there are problems, then you solve the problems with the family or with the parents.
What sort of problems come up for them?
For example, they've got a problem of food, and they've got a problem of home affairs, for example, salt, sugar, and when they are ill, they may not get some medicine. See, sometime I came here, I found all of them sleeping. They are suffering from fever. So we planned with the other families, and we got them some medicine.
So neighbors sort of keep tabs on the children like this?
Yes.
Yes. What about emotional support? Are these children very affected? I mean, how do they get over the grieving process? Is there much of that?
No.
There are far more pragmatic concerns. Saka consults with a neighbor about reports of drunken behavior in the area at night. He's also managed to get most of these children into his school, with fees paid by foreign aid organizations. Lucy Katasabe's worries are commensurate with her many adult duties, not with those of a 14-year-old. She'd like to get married someday, but not until her siblings can live alone. In the meanwhile, she hopes to cultivate a better garden, she says, so we can eat better food. There is enough food to prevent starvation, if not malnutrition. A banana-like staple called matoku grows in abundance here. The complex tradition of extended family helps tide orphans through in this home. They are visited by surviving wives of a man who had 8 and 22 children. As is custom here, he is buried just outside the home, along with his first wife. So he had 8 different wives in different places,
yes, right.
And he had 22 children.
22 children. Yes.
And he died along with 2 of his wives.
With 2 of his wives, yes.
I don't know whether we have time today, while we are fighting HIV and AIDS, to fight polygamy.
Noreen Kaliba founded the AIDS Service Organization, or TASO, after her husband died of AIDS 7 years ago. TASO offers counseling, testing, and other services to some 30,000 families in Uganda. Kaliba struggles with the reasons for the startling infection rate. Among those most often cited by experts are a high rate of other sexually transmitted diseases, civil war, and social upheaval, all of which increase multiple partner sexual activity, and all of which complicates polygamy, which, though not officially condoned, has a long tradition in Uganda.
I come from a polygamous family. My father had 4 wives, and the traditional polygamous setup is very protective. If you think about a man who has 4 wives, he's very busy. and he really has no time to go outside that relationship. The polygamy, the way it is practiced today, rather than polygamy, we are talking about a man having concubines. So in the true sense of the word, that's not polygamy. That is a male, you might describe it as male promiscuity. Now, that is what is contributing to the problem.
Uganda does get high marks for trying to find solutions. Unlike most nations in Africa, it has readily acknowledged the AIDS epidemic and welcomed ideas to curb infection. There have been some unusual initiatives. Some would have been unthinkable just a few years ago. This door-to-door demonstration to introduce condoms to housewives is organized by the Islamic Medical Society, and it is indeed for many an introduction. The campaign has the blessings of religious leaders like Sheikh Ibrahim Nkangi, who is a Qadi or priest.
Adultery and fornication are against the teaching of Islam, but we have to acknowledge that these practices happen outside of the teachings. We have no choice but to accept that these things happen and try to prevent it.
Our young people work hard. Now I don't know what to do. Know what to do. Know what to do. I am feeling headed now. Feel by your young skin rushes.
AIDS information centers in Kampala offer confidential HIV testing, along with counseling and what are called drama clubs. They are a uniquely African form of therapy in a land where anti-HIV drugs like AZT are virtually unheard of, and where the progress from HIV infection to full-blown AIDS happens in about half the time it does in Western countries.
If you are sick, and then we see us in drama acting the role of a sick person, of a disease which you are sick of, then somehow you know that you are not alone. You are with other people. You see the problems being acted on the stage, and this relieves you psychologically. Then it reduces the amount of stigma one person might have. Dance, music, and drama are forms of exercise. So some of the members, whether they are sick or not, we give them plenty of body exercises as they learn the dance, as they sing, and as they dramatize. And then we take the message outside to other people.
This troupe of dancers performs regular road shows across Uganda, attracting audiences with drama and dance, and using the forum to preach what is called the ABC of AIDS.
And that is abstinence, be faithful, or condom use.
There is evidence of some dividends, of changing behavior patterns. Recent surveys show a slight dip in the infection rate. As for those already infected, Noreen Kaliba says the challenge is to reinforce the idea of hope and purpose in their lives.
If I can live another 5 years, during those 5 years, my daughter Christine, who is 11 years today, will be 16. And she will be a much more capable orphan than if I died today and left her at the age of 11.
Uganda's openness and innovations have won kudos from public health experts, but it is a measure of this nation's despair when people can hope only for more capable orphans. An even more sobering measure of that despair is Uganda's life expectancy, which is now the world's lowest at 37 years.